So I stayed away from the Giants this week, but I will say this. Whatever their ceiling is, I do think what they're doing is clever. I can see the coaching. I think it's sustainable. Are you surprised so quickly, Victor, that Daboll has sort of, let's be honest about Daniel Jones. This is the best Daniel's ever played. Are you surprised it's worked this quickly?
I am surprised. I'm surprised it worked this quickly. I'm surprised that the players have bought into the system, have bought into what Daboll has brought to the table, has brought into what that coaching staff has put before them. I think, these are all culture wins. Like, maybe the last one was probably the one when you're like, okay, the Giants may be a good team, but anyone before that, you're just kind of like, we won, but I don't know if we're good or not. You know what I'm saying? But it's all coaching. It's all Daboll. It's all about them believing in what he's telling them and how he's preparing them week in and week out.
People in New York, it's like the Yankee fan base. They've been season ticket holders forever. I think they like the way they're playing. I think Daboll is like an everyman. And when you're a New York Giant, there's not a lot of fluff here, man. They expect you to go in. What do you make of Daniel Jones? There's a little Eli Manning here. I guess my question is this. I look at Mahomes and Herbert and Lamar, and I look at all these guys. To you, what is Daniel Jones? What could he be, or is this kind of it?
Well, it's tough because the years that he's been with the Giants, he's never really had the receiving core or the amount of weapons around him to really see what type of player he can be, to really see what type of quarterback he can be. But I think he's an above average game manager, if I had to put a title on it.
Okay.
I think he's not just a game manager. I think he can do a little bit more than X's and O's. I mean, he led a 14-play drive for points against the Ravens and another 12-play drive to seal it at the end. It was just like he can do the things you want him to do. But I don't know if you can put him in that Mahomes and that Justin Herbert category because from a skill set perspective, he's just not that. We just haven't seen that level of gameplay from him specifically.
Saquon Barkley is a great player. How surprised are you? Not only has he been effective, but, they have just leaned on him, man. He is, after that injury, I was like, I don't think he's ever going to be the guy again. How surprised are you he is the guy?
I'm very surprised. For a running back to have that type of injury, you see them come back, but they kind of come back as a shell on themselves, or they kind of take a little time to kind of get their bearings. He came back like, I'm ready to rock, give me the ball, and I'm ready to put this team on my shoulders. And that's what he's been doing. He's our best player on that football field.
Yep.
And he's making the plays and making sure that his team is counting on him to be there week in and week out. And so far, he's handling it, man.
So I'm going to defend the Niners on the McCaffrey trade, and here's why. Very rarely in the NFL do you get a team that's got great young players and great veteran players, and you have this really good chemistry. And I'm a big believer, you can never predict because this sport has a regulated level of violence. Guys get hurt on one play. So when you've got this great mix of, come on, you got some Brandon Ayuk's an unbelievable talent. Then you got George Kittle's older and Quan Alexander. You got some old guys. Trent Williams older. How many years left? I get the McCaffrey deal. When you first saw it, did you think, dang, 4 draft picks? What was your initial interpretation?
My initial reaction was like, boy, they gave up a lot. But if you think about where Carolina's at, they're in full rebuild. They're trying to stockpile picks and kind of get into the next couple years and see how they can transform into a holistic team in the next few years or so. They're probably going to be in the quarterback market come this offseason. So they're just trying to get ready for that. But on the Niners side, I'm like, whoa, they got 2 Deebo Samuel-esque type of players that you can put anywhere, put them in the backfield, make plays for you, split them out, get mismatches all over the field. And Deebo, he may not like being in the backfield as much. So now they got McCaffrey, who's used to being in the backfield, that actually enjoys being back there, knows how to run between the tackles as well. So they got another weapon in their plethora of weapons offensively to put out in the football field to make it tough on defenses to try to just cue in on just 1, 2, 3 guys.
I think Eli is so subtly funny that you would get it when you're around him. Like, he's not as outwardly funny as Peyton, but he's a very smart, clever, funny guy. He's not a yeller and a screamer. But I saw Kyler last night get into it with Cliff, and my takeaway is this is not high school or college. There's a lot of pressure on him. He's getting whacked by the media. That team has got to win this game, and I'm like, folks, sports is live and it's raw. You always worry about yelling at coaches, but How often in your career, 6 years, practice, games, how often does the volume get to that point?
Never necessarily on game day. And also, if I even tried to, like, talk to Coach Coughlin that way, I don't think it would have ended very well, to be honest. It probably wouldn't have ended very well. But when I see Kingsbury, right, when I see Cliff and I see Kyler out there, you got to think Kingsbury had been recruiting him since he was in high school.
Right.
They've known each other through college. Now they're in the pros here. This is a family. It's a family-like atmosphere between them two. So when I looked at, oh, these are just two, like Kyler talking to his uncle, telling him to chill and calm down. I got this.
Yeah.
You know, I got this under control. It felt like a family type of spat that just happened in real time. I think that's what we saw. But you got to think about it. These guys have known each other forever. They've grown up in the business, so to speak, together to a certain degree. And I think that all you saw was, you know, two family members hashing out on the field, making sure everybody's calmed down, and we got everything squared away.
Yeah, that's a great take. I never thought of that. You're right. They've known each other. They're comfortable barking a little bit. They've known each other for over 10 years. All right.
Exactly.
OBJ. Now, I said this. I said I think Green Bay's the spot because Aaron historically trusts veteran receivers. He trusts Randall Cobb. He's struggling with young receivers. By the way, Brady did not love young receivers. You know, he liked it. It took 4 years for Edelman to work. So, I mean, when you look at OBJ, do you think there's a culture, a team, a quarterback he fits with?
I think there's a couple. I think I love Kansas City. I think they're just missing that, you know, obviously that Tyreek Hill void of that big play threat to just give him the ball in space and he can take it the distance. I think Odell provides that, given healthy and all those things. And I agree with you. I think Green Bay. I think they are dying for someone to kind of lead that receiver room and kind of get everybody together. I think Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? He's going to get those guys as prepared as they can and lean on those young guys. But you need that one leader that's been in the trenches, that understands the game of football at the highest level, that can make plays. And with Aaron Rodgers, the type of arm that he has, him and Odell will be sweet music, making sweet music together. But Mahomes, and that if we want to win now, I think Odell needs to go to Kansas City and be part of that receiving core and get those guys together. And that's that next step that they can take offensively.
Yeah, and OBJ proved it last year. He knows football. You put him in, about a week later, he figures it out. Finally, you created the salsa touchdown celebration. Now they have something I'm told called the gritty.
Kids love it. It's a worldwide phenomenon now. I mean, I just saw Chuck Pagano doing it in his room somewhere. Like, it's officially, someone said it's officially the Macarena now. Like, we got to put it to bed and find something new now. But I love it, man. The kids love it. I'm all for it.
Victor, what a pleasure to see you. Great takes and insight. Continued success. He's on the First Things First set, so I bet he's on that show today, and it's great seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.